Hey moms, welcome back to my channel. So this is something new that I am doing that I want to give you, as along with all the teaching that I give on how to start a business and really homeschool. I also want to give you a slight glimpse into the life of a momtrepreneur. So I like sharing and giving my how-to knowledge that's very practical, but I also want to give you a glimpse into my life, sort of a small glimpse. Of course, it's not. Um, I'm not the type to just throw my life out there to the world. So we give glimpses. That's what I do. So I was thinking a lot, when you have kind of the YouTube personalities or the blog personalities, they usually go from one extreme to the other. And unfortunately, I think it's probably because that's what gets the clicks, that's what gets the views. And when this is one of your streams of income, like, I understand why people do it. So, on one hand, you have my life is horrible, everything's drama, everything's falling apart. And then on the other hand, you have everything is rainbows and skittles. And if you just do it this way, nothing bad will ever come your way. And your life too can be rainbows and skittles. So I'm kind of in the middle, I guess. And that's what I want to offer. The alternative to have someone in the middle ground. No, I'm not going to say that this life is easy, but neither is it all dramatic and terrible all the time. But neither is it always rainbows and skittles. Sometimes we have rainbows and skittles day. Sometimes we have really horrible days. And other times we have we all survived. We made it out alive. We're doing great. So that's what I wanted to accomplish with these Saturday morning chats. And I'll try to do them weekly. You know, life happens, so we may not get to them every week. But so far, I'm on a roll. So I'm getting to them weekly. All right. So we had a week where we got a curveball thrown at us. It's ended up all well in the end, but as the title of this video says, I can check an ambulance ride off of my bucket list. Not that I have a bucket list or that would actually be on there, but you get the idea. So, and this also affected the rest of my week, dealing with clients and everything. So this was one of those events that had ripple effects all the way through the rest of the week. So on Sunday, my little baby, she's more of a toddler now, but you know, when she's the baby, so when she's 25, we'll still call her the baby. But my toddler woke up from her nap in respiratory distress. So she was coughing and didn't sound right, and it wasn't the hoarse cough. Like, I held her for a little while just to see, you know, what would happen, and I could hear her wheezing along with it. So we decided to take her to urgent care. So I took my other daughter with me as well. So we had a girls' night out. Yeah, at urgent care. So we get to urgent care, and they do get her in right away, and they don't know what's going on, but they do hear the respiratory distress. So they did give her a steroid, and he said he wanted to take x-rays, and depending on what those x-rays said, he would recommend that we go to the emergency room in an ambulance. So after he took the x-rays, he did come in and say, it doesn't look good in there. It does look like he gave us the diagnosis, and I'm texting my whole family during this time. And so my sister's Googling it. And so she told me afterwards, she's like, I just started crying. She's like, I'm probably dehydrated from crying so much because the diagnosis he gave was just horrible. So he did recommend that we go to the children's hospital emergency room in an ambulance. So here I am at urgent care. It's me and my two daughters. So I'm scrambling to, okay, my husband needs to come down and pick up the van and pick up my daughter, but the ambulance is here. So I called my brother because he was only 5 minutes from urgent care. And I said, can you come and sit with my daughter, my oldest daughter, until my husband gets here and he can take them home? So yeah, it was just a mess. So we did ride to the children's hospital in an ambulance. There was no lights and sirens. And I was grateful for the children's emergency room doctor. He was very calm. And he said the diagnosis that they'd given at urgent care was not correct. They did take other x-rays because the x-rays from urgent care didn't clearly show what they needed to see. So what she had was called spasmodic croup. So it hit suddenly. There's no other symptoms, and it just kind of hits, and her airway was closing. So she did need the steroids they gave to open it up. So this was Sunday night that this happened, and we did come home. Thankfully, I was grateful we didn't have to stay in the hospital or anything like that. And she was fine when we got home. But we kept her in our room to sleep. So mommy didn't get much sleep because she was like, oh, sleep bed. So she ended up sleeping in our bed and was all, she's like a cat, has to sleep was sleeping right by my head, and moving around a lot. So I did, email my clients, and tell them on Sunday night, tell them what was going on. And so the emails I got back were just take it easy the next day. Life happens and it's the priority. Your kids are the priority. So I say all that to say that sometimes life gives us curveballs that we can't plan for, and pick good clients to work for that will understand these life situations. So 2 lessons. And I am grateful that the baby, she's fine. She's up moving around. This can be reoccurring. So that's the one, I would say, hesitancy with all of this is obviously I don't want it to happen again. So that was our big adventure for this week. And of course, I don't think the shock and adrenaline wore off until the following night, and then I was exhausted. So, but moving on to the next thing. So I mentioned last week that our book club was reading about Anastasia Romanov. And so we had that discussion Monday night. I did not go. I Zoomed in, or we did a video call in. It wasn't Zoom. And I always find that it's very interesting just people's thoughts on it. And so the big question that we all had was, how did she really get away with it? She was impersonating this person. Now, some people did not believe her, but others sincerely believed her, even when the DNA evidence came out in the 90s. People who believed her rejected the evidence as well. So it was how does somebody get away with this? Well, one of the book club members mentioned just even the media's role in it, and how they help to perpetuate the lie. And so we just thought about that. And of course, I always think of the best parallels after the fact. And so, it made me think of where we're at now. And you see so many things and so much outrage. And I'm not going to get into specifics of it, or I'm just going to paint broad strokes here. And really, the outrage of certain things, they're really based on a lie. If you were to do actual research, not reading media research, but actual research, you would find that some of the things that are motivating people to respond the way they are responding, it is just based on an outright lie. But there's no convincing anybody that it's a lie, or it's hard to convince. So it made me think of Mark Twain's quote, and that it's easier to fool people than to convince them that they've been fooled. So that's just food for thought of what I took away from the after the fact of our book club discussion. And I wanted to share those thoughts with you. So, to wrap up our week, I did go shopping at Hobby Lobby for my co-op class. So, I needed all the art supplies now. And I think I've decided that Hobby Lobby could be therapy for me. If I just had the time to go up and down the aisles and look at everything, I would come out with a smile on my face. I don't even have to buy anything. I just want to be able to look at everything and get ideas. I would come out with a smile on my face. So my baby and I went to Hobby Lobby and bought some stuff for co-op class. And then, of course, I bought some stuff too. Yeah. I texted my husband, I'm like, I might need to be grounded from Hobby Lobby, but it was a lot of fun. So that is the wrap up for the week. Some exciting we could do without, some thoughtful, and some fun. I hope you have a great week, and I'm so glad you joined me today. Be sure to check out lifeunboxed.blog for more great momtrepreneur content, and I will see you next week.